Every single day, you have a choice that will determine the course of your life, the heights you will reach, and the legacy you will leave behind. That choice is simple, yet profound. Will you take action, or will you succumb to inaction? Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to explore the power of forcing yourself to take action day by day. This is not just another motivational talk. This is a call to arms, a challenge to every single one of you to step up and seize control of your destiny. Now, let me ask you a question. How many times have you said to yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many dreams have you postponed? How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because you weren't ready to act? The harsh truth is that life doesn't wait for you to be ready. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act, and that's what we're here to discuss today. The art and science of taking consistent, relentless action. Success is not about grand gestures or momentous occasions. It's about the small, seemingly insignificant actions you take every single day. It's about forcing yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Let's break this down. Why is daily action so crucial? First and foremost, it builds momentum. Think of it like pushing a boulder up a hill. At first, it's incredibly difficult. Every inch feels like a mile. But as you keep pushing, day after day, something magical happens. The boulder starts to move more easily. You gain speed, and before you know it, you are not pushing anymore. You are chasing that boulder down the other side of the hill, barely able to keep up with its momentum. That's what consistent daily action does for your life and your goals. It creates an unstoppable force that propels you towards success. This kind of momentum doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't come from sporadic bursts of motivation or occasional effort. It comes from forcing yourself to take action every single day, regardless of how you feel. I can already hear some of you thinking, but what if I don't feel motivated? What if I'm tired or stressed or just not in the mood? And to that I say, good. Those are precisely the moments that separate the achievers from the dreamers. Motivation is a fickle friend. It comes and goes like the tide. If you rely on motivation to take action, you will find yourself stuck in a cycle of starts and stops, never gaining the momentum you need to truly succeed. That's why we talk about forcing yourself to take action. It's about developing the discipline to act not when you feel like it, but when you need to. It's about doing what's necessary, not what's comfortable. Let me share a little secret with you. The most successful people in the world, the innovators, the leaders, the game changers, they don't wait for motivation. They create it through action. Have you ever noticed how taking even a small step toward your goals can suddenly energize you? How crossing one item off your to-do list can make you feel more capable of tackling the rest? That's not coincidence. That's the power of action creating motivation. So how do we cultivate this habit of daily action? How do we force ourselves to move forward even when every fiber of our being wants to stay still? First, we need to understand that force doesn't mean violence or cruelty to ourselves. It means gentle, persistent pressure. It means creating systems and habits that make action inevitable. Start by setting clear, specific goals. Not vague wishes like I want to be successful, but concrete objectives like I will make 10 sales calls every day or I will write 1,000 words of my book each morning before work. These specific goals give you a clear target to aim for. They remove the ambiguity that often leads to procrastination. When you know exactly what needs to be done, it's harder to make excuses. Next, break these goals down into small, manageable tasks. Remember, we are not aiming for perfection here. We are aiming for progress. If you can't make 10 sales calls, start with 1. If 1,000 words seem daunting, begin with 100. The key is to start, to take that first step, no matter how small it might seem. Where the forcing part comes in. Schedule these tasks, put them in your calendar. Treat them with the same respect and urgency you would a meeting with your most important client. Because in reality, that's exactly what they are. They're appointments with your future self, with the person you are striving to become. But scheduling alone is not enough. You need to create an environment that supports action. This might mean setting up your workspace the night before so it's ready for you in the morning. It might mean putting your running shoes by the door so they're the first thing you see when you wake up. It might mean deleting social media apps from your phone to remove distractions. The goal is to reduce friction, to make it easier to do the right thing than to do nothing. Failure. Because let's face it, not every action you take will lead to immediate success. There will be setbacks. There will be days when, despite your best efforts, things don't go as planned. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's necessary. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a crucial part of it. Every setback, every misstep, every failure is actually a learning opportunity. It's data that you can use to refine your approach, to get better, to move closer to your goals. The only real failure is giving up. As long as you keep taking action, as long as you keep moving forward, you haven't failed, you are just in the process of succeeding. This is where the day-by-day part of our discussion becomes crucial. Success is not about making one perfect decision or taking one perfect action. It's about consistently making good decisions and taking positive actions over time. Think of it like compound interest. Just as small, regular investments can grow into a fortune over time, small, consistent actions can transform your life. Let's use weight loss as an example. Losing 50 pounds might seem like an overwhelming goal. But what if, instead of focusing on that big number, you committed to losing just 1 pound a week? That's a much more manageable goal, right? And guess what? If you achieve that small goal consistently, week after week, you will reach your larger goal in less than a year. The same principle applies to any goal, any dream, any aspiration you might have. Want to write a book? Commit to writing just 1 page a day. In a year, you will have a 365-page novel. Want to learn a new language? Study for just 15 minutes each day. In a year, you will have devoted over 90 hours to your new skill. These might seem like small actions, but remember, it's not the size of the action that matters. It's the consistency. It's the cumulative effect of those small actions taken day after day that leads to extraordinary results. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but what about when life gets in the way? What about when I'm tired or stressed or overwhelmed? And that's a valid concern. Life has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect them. But here's the thing. That's precisely why developing the habit of forcing yourself to take action is so important. When you make taking action a non-negotiable part of your day, it becomes your anchor. It becomes the constant that you can rely on, no matter what chaos is swirling around you. Think about it. When you are stressed, taking action toward your goals can be a form of therapy. It reminds you that you are in control, that you are moving forward despite the challenges. When you are tired, taking action can energize you, giving you a sense of accomplishment that no amount of rest can provide. But let's be real. There will be days when you don't feel like doing anything, days when the thought of taking action seems impossible. And that's okay. On those days, your job is simple. Do just one thing. Just one small action toward your goals. Maybe it's sending one email. Maybe it's doing 5 push-ups. Maybe it's writing 1 sentence. It doesn't matter how small the action is. What matters is that you do something. Why? Because it keeps the habit alive. It keeps you in motion. And most importantly, it reminds you that you are stronger than your excuses. Remember, every time you force yourself to take action, when you don't feel like it, you are building mental toughness. You are strengthening your willpower. You are proving to yourself that you can be relied upon, that you can keep your commitments to yourself. And that, my friends, is priceless. Because when you know you can count on yourself, when you know you will take action no matter what, there's no limit to what you can achieve. A crucial aspect of forcing yourself to take action. Accountability. It's one thing to make promises to yourself. It's another to make those promises public. Find an accountability partner. Someone who shares your drive, your ambition. Share your goals with them. Commit to checking in regularly. Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals and expecting progress can be a powerful motivator. But don't stop there. Make yourself accountable to the world. Share your journey on social media. Start a blog documenting your progress. Join online communities of like-minded individuals. The more you put yourself out there, the more invested you become in your own success, and the more people you inspire along the way. Because here's something many people forget. Your actions don't just impact you. Every time you force yourself to take action, every time you push through resistance and do what needs to be done, you are setting an example. You are showing others what's possible. You are becoming a beacon of inspiration for everyone around you. Think about that for a moment. Your daily actions, no matter how small they might seem to you, have the power to change lives. The ripple effect of your commitment to action can spread far beyond your own life, touching people you have never even met. That's the true power, forcing yourself to take action day by day. It's not just about achieving your own goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who inspires others to achieve theirs. Let's address another common obstacle, perfectionism. Many people use the pursuit of perfection as an excuse for inaction. They tell themselves, I'll start when conditions are perfect, or I'll launch when my product is flawless. Perfection is a myth. It's an illusion that keeps you stuck, that prevents you from taking the very actions that would lead to improvement. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress. Embrace imperfect action, because an imperfect action taken today is infinitely more valuable than a perfect action never taken. Think about some of the most successful products and services in the world. Did they start out perfect? Absolutely not. They started as rough ideas, minimum viable products, but their creators had the courage to put them out into the world to take action despite the imperfections. And guess what? It was the very action that allowed them to get feedback, to iterate, to improve. The perfection they eventually achieved wasn't the result of waiting. It was the result of consistent, imperfect action. What imperfect action can you take today? What small step can you take toward your goals, even if it's not quite ready, even if it's not quite perfect? Take that step. Force yourself to move forward, because it's in that movement, in that action, that you will find the path to your dreams. Let's talk about fear. Because let's face it, often what holds us back from taking action is not laziness or lack of motivation. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown. But here's the thing about fear. It's just an emotion. And like all emotions, it can be managed. It can be overcome. How? Through action. Fear thrives in inaction. It grows in the dark corners of your mind, fed by your doubts and insecurities. But when you take action, when you force yourself to move forward, despite the fear, something magical happens. The fear begins to dissipate. Why? Because action brings clarity. It brings reality. It replaces the imagined threats conjured by your fear with real-world experiences. Think about it. How many times have you been afraid to do something, only to find that once you did it, it wasn't nearly as scary as you'd imagined? That's the power of action in the face of fear. So the next time you feel fear holding you back, remember this. The antidote to fear is not courage, it's action. Force yourself to take that first step, no matter how small. The courage will come as a result of your action, not as a prerequisite for it. Let's address another crucial aspect of forcing yourself to take action: resilience. Because let's be honest, not every action you take will lead to immediate success. There will be setbacks. There will be failures. There will be days when it feels like all your efforts are in vain. Resilience is not built through success, it's built through adversity. It's forged in the fires of challenge and tempered by the cold waters of disappointment. Every time you force yourself to take action, especially when things aren't going your way, you are building resilience. You are developing the mental toughness that will see you through any challenge. Remember, the most successful people in the world aren't those who never face setbacks. They're the ones who keep taking action despite those setbacks. They're the ones who force themselves to get up one more time than they fall down. So embrace the challenges, welcome the setbacks. See them not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow stronger, to become more resilient. And most importantly, keep taking action. Because it's in those moments of difficulty, when you force yourself to move forward despite every reason not to, that you truly discover what you are capable of. The power of habits. When we talk about forcing yourself to take action day by day, what we are really talking about is building habits. Willpower is a finite resource. You can't rely on it to force yourself into action every single day, but habits are automatic. They don't require willpower. They just happen. So your goal should be to turn action into a habit, to make it as automatic as brushing your teeth or checking your phone. How? Through consistency, through forcing yourself to take the same actions at the same time every day until they become second nature. Choose one action, one small, manageable action, and commit to doing it every day at the same time. It could be written for 10 minutes as soon as you wake up. It could be making one sales call before lunch. It could be doing 10 push-ups before bed. The specific action doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Force yourself to do it every day, no matter what. No excuses, no exceptions. At first, it will be hard. You will have to consciously force yourself to take action, but stick with it. Because something amazing happens when you consistently force yourself to take action day after day. After about 66 days, that's the average time it takes to form a habit, according to research, you will find that you no longer have to force yourself. The action becomes automatic. It becomes a part of who you are. And that's when real transformation happens. Because once taking action becomes a habit, once it becomes a part of your identity, there's no limit to what you can achieve. What if taking action toward your goals was as automatic as breathing? What if you didn't have to think about it, didn't have to force yourself, but just did it naturally every single day? That's the power of turning action into a habit. And it all starts with forcing yourself to take that action day after day until it becomes a part of you. Let's address something that many people overlook when it comes to taking action. Celebration. Yes, you heard me right. Celebration. When we talk about forcing ourselves to take action, it can sometimes sound like a grim, joyless task, but it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, it shouldn't be that way. Every action you take toward your goals, no matter how small, is a victory. And victories, my friends, deserve to be celebrated. Why is this important? Because celebration reinforces positive behavior. It creates a psychological reward that makes you want to repeat the action. It turns the process of taking action from a core into a source of joy. So how do you celebrate small actions? It doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be as simple as giving yourself a mental pat on the back. It could be putting a check mark on your calendar. It could be treating yourself to your favorite coffee after completing a task. The specific celebration doesn't matter. What matters is that you acknowledge your efforts, that you take a moment to feel good about the action you have taken. This might feel silly at first. You might think, why should I celebrate sending one email or writing one paragraph? But remember, it's not about the size of the action. It's about the consistency and the momentum you are building. Each small action, no matter how insignificant it may seem at the moment, is a building block in the foundation of your success. It's a step forward on your journey, a tangible piece of progress that brings you closer to your goals. When you celebrate these small actions, you are reinforcing the neural pathways in your brain associated with taking action. You are training your mind to associate action with positive feelings, making it more likely that you will continue to take action in the future. It's a form of positive reinforcement that can dramatically increase your productivity and success over time. Moreover, celebrating small actions helps to combat one of the biggest enemies of consistent action, discouragement. Often when we are working towards big goals, it's easy to feel like we are not making progress. The finish line can seem so far away that our daily efforts feel futile. But when you make a habit of celebrating small actions, you are constantly reminding yourself that you are making progress. You are acknowledging that every step forward, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to where you want to be. This mindset shift is crucial. Instead of always focusing on how far you still have to go, you are training yourself to appreciate how far you have come. This appreciation fuels motivation, boosts confidence, and provides the emotional energy you need to keep pushing forward day after day. Consider the analogy of a long journey. If you are walking from one coast to another, focusing solely on your destination can be overwhelming. The sheer distance can make you want to give up before you even start. But if you focus on each step, celebrating the ground you cover each day, suddenly the journey becomes manageable. Enjoyable, even. You start to appreciate the scenery along the way, the strength you are building, the experiences you are gaining. And before you know it, you have covered more ground than you ever thought possible. The same principle applies to any goal you are pursuing. Whether you're building a business, losing weight, learning a new skill, or working towards any other objective, celebrating small actions keeps you engaged in the process. It helps you find joy in the journey, not just the destination. But there's another powerful benefit to celebrating small actions. It helps to build your identity as a person of action. Every time you acknowledge and celebrate an action you have taken, you are reinforcing to yourself that you are someone who takes action. You are building a self-image of a proactive, committed individual who follows through on their intentions. This identity shift is incredibly powerful because once you start to see yourself as a person of action, taking action becomes easier. It aligns with your self-image. You start to think, of course, I'm going to do this. That's who I am. I'm a person who takes action. And here's the beautiful thing. This identity is not built through grand, heroic actions. It's built through small, consistent actions, celebrated day after day. It's built through forcing yourself to take that one small step and then acknowledging and appreciating that you did it. Let's be clear. Celebrating small actions doesn't mean you should rest on your laurels or become complacent. It doesn't mean that small actions alone are enough to achieve your big goals. But it does mean recognizing that those small actions are essential, that they're worthy of acknowledgement, and that they play a crucial role in your ultimate success. Think of it like building a brick wall. Each brick you lay might seem insignificant compared to the entire wall you're trying to build, but each brick is necessary. Each one brings you closer to completion, and each one deserves to be placed with care and acknowledged for its contribution to the whole. By celebrating small actions, you are also developing patience and persistence. You are learning to appreciate the process, not just the outcome. This is crucial because success in any endeavor rarely happens overnight. It's the result of consistent effort over time. By celebrating small actions, you are training yourself to find satisfaction in the effort itself, not just the end result. This shift in focus can be transformative. It can turn the pursuit of your goals from a grueling ordeal into an enjoyable journey. It can help you persist when progress seems slow because you have learned to appreciate each step along the way. Moreover, celebrating small actions can help you maintain momentum during tough times. There will inevitably be days when you don't feel like taking action. When your motivation is low, or when external circumstances make it difficult to move forward. On these days, the habit of celebrating small actions can be a lifeline. Even if all you can manage is a tiny step forward, celebrating that step can give you the emotional boost you need to keep going. It reminds you that any progress, no matter how small, is still progress. It keeps you connected to your goals and your identity as a person of action, even when the going gets tough. This resilience is invaluable. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up when faced with obstacles. By celebrating small actions, you are building this resilience day by day, action by action. Remember, success is not about perfection. It's not about taking huge leaps every single day. It's about consistency. It's about showing up day after day and taking whatever action you can. Some days that action might be significant. Other days it might be tiny. But as long as you are moving forward and acknowledging that movement, you are on the right track. So I challenge you, start celebrating your small actions today. Force yourself to take that one small step towards your goals, and then take a moment to really acknowledge and appreciate that you did it. You feel good about it. Let that positive feeling sink in. Do this every day and watch how it transforms your approach to taking action. Watch how it builds your confidence, fuels your motivation, and accelerates your progress towards your goals. Every journey, no matter how long, is made up of small steps. Every achievement, no matter how grand, is the result of countless small actions. By forcing yourself to take those actions day by day, and by celebrating each one, you are not just working towards your goals. You are transforming yourself into the kind of person who achieves them. So remember, it's not about the size of the action. It's about the consistency, the momentum, the habit building, the identity shaping power of taking action every single day and acknowledging every single step. That's how you turn your dreams into reality. That's how you become unstoppable. Now go out there and take action. Force yourself if you have to. And when you do, celebrate it. Because every action, no matter how small, is bringing you one step closer to the life you want to live, the person you want to be, and the goals you want to achieve. You've got this. Now go make it happen, one small celebrated action at a time.